His skin is white just like a ghost, thick Irish roots and his blonde hair. And he sounds like a Chicago superfan, a music nerd with a collection of CDs from here to there. Yes, Andy Dare is in Chicago, interviewing and barbecuing. It's the Andy Dare Show. It's the Andy Dare Show.
Welcome to the Andy Dare Show. Today it is episode 141. It is our special Record Store Day episode 2015. I'm joined by a special guest, Andy Gabbard from Buffalo Killers, and he's got a brand new solo album called Fluff. And it's a great album. Believe me, check it out if you like Dinosaur Jr., Neil Young, those fuzzy riffs. He's got plenty. And a lot of cool stories from Andy. It was cool talking to another Andy. I've had Andy Metz on before. I think there's been Andy Chernoff from the Dictators we've had. There's been a couple Andys, and I usually get along with guys with my same name. So we thought, why not? And yeah, Record Store Day 2015. If you're any kind of fan of my show, you know that the only place that I'm truly at peace with the world is when I'm at a record store and I'm digging through the crates. And whether it's CD, vinyl, cassette, anything that's a tangible music item. You know, I don't get that same feeling when I open up iTunes. I don't get that same feeling when I'm streaming somebody's hard-earned music and on Spotify and stuff like that. And they're getting like, you know, half of a penny for 100 spins on Spotify. So, you know, it's what I love doing. I like going to record stores. Thank you to my awesome sponsor, Record Utopia. If you know about them, they used to be Remember When Records for 28 years, from 1983 to 2011. Hank is the man. He's my rock and roll godfather. And yeah, you can still find Hank. It's at the same location. It is 309 West Ogden Avenue, and you can call them at 630-963-1957. The Real Deal Record Store. But now it's also partnered with kind of a secondhand mall thing. And yeah, it's a great store, Record Utopia. Say hi to Dan. They got a humongous vinyl selection. They've also got music instruments. They've got amps, all kind of musical equipment. Now they've got power tools. They've got computer gear. It's kind of a one-stop shop if you want a deal. It's also a one-stop sell if you want to sell stuff. If you're in dire straits, if you're trying to make that rent money, you got a stack of CDs that's just been wasting space in your closet. Believe me, there wouldn't be wasting space if they were in my closet. But they're wasting space in your closet, so why not go to a secondhand mall, get $20 for a stack of CDs. Hey, it's $20 more for you. You know, it's a cool thing. How about your kid that quit playing the guitar and you bought him the guitar, but he quit playing it. It's just laying around. He's since moved out. Why don't you sell it to Record Utopia? Once again, 309 West Ogden Avenue in Westmont, Illinois, 630-963-1957. Say hi to Hank and Dan. And while they're not really participating in Record Store Day per se, Record Store Day is more of a vague thing for me. Instead of all these people latching into the new hipster vinyl thing, it's just a way of saying, hey, thanks, guys, for being open 6 days a week and for stocking the shelves and for having a smile on your face, for keeping the spirit of rock and roll alive. Thank you to Record Utopia. And, yeah, I would also like to thank everybody who has checked out my zine, The Honeycomb. And I want to thank the guys at Bob and Ron's Record Club at Dahl.com, DAHL, for having me on the show last week, and it was nice of them for letting me plug The Honeycomb. Want to thank all the new subscribers. If you want to get The Honeycomb, you can't like it on Facebook, you can't follow it on Twitter, you got to send me your mailing address. And unless you're homeless, you've got a mailing address, we can send it to your mom's house. Either way, The Honeycomb Magazine. And give us a call, 630-341-3022, and get on that mailing list. You can also hit me up on all the various social medias. And, yeah, we got the April issue out now. Want to thank Jay Porks, Tyler Kale, and Dan Corhonen for helping me out with it. And, yeah, the Honeycomb fanzine. We'll be right back after this message.
Yo, what goes on, people? Jay Porks here. Just reminding you to keep it locked to the Deer Network throughout 2015, where you can get the Tyler Kale Show, the smooth, sultry tones of the Jay Porks Experience, or the Andy Deer Show. Keep it locked to andydeer.com. 2015, big things coming.
And we're back. And since it's Record Store Day 2015, I thought I'd just regale you with another awesome record store in the Chicagoland area. Reckless Records. Find them at reckless.com. 3 awesome locations, and it's exciting year for Reckless. They just announced that they've moved their Wicker Park store into a mega store. And the cool thing is, it's just right down the street in a big, huge piece of property. And yeah, it's going to be their mega store, and I'm super psyched for it. Chris Connolly is an awesome guy. So nice to do my show back in January. He is a manager there, also a member of Cocksure, Revolting Cocks, previously of Ministry, and he's got a brand new solo album coming out this spring, and it's cool. It's just a great experience. Never see that place empty. It's always bustling with a big crowd of people going through the vinyl selection. And they're having a whole bunch of cool things going on. They have Local H playing today at 3 p.m. At the Wicker, or that one is at the Lincoln Park location. There's one in Lincoln Park, there's one in Wicker Park, and there's one right in the Loop. And yeah, if you want to check out the brand new Megastore, go ahead. It is at 1379 North Milwaukee in Wicker Park, Chicago, Illinois. And give them a call. It is 773-404-5080. And believe me, I've had awesome times there. I got to meet Kim and Kelly Deal last Record Store Day. That was a memory I'll never forget. But yeah, my first memory going back to that Wicker Park location was back in 2003. I was a college kid at the time, and I think I borrowed the folks' Jeep to go downtown. Back then, it just seemed like downtown was a scary place where you never know. You could get a huge ticket. You could get in a crash. You could get your rims stolen off your car, like in National Lampoons or something. So it was really cool when I could go down there, pick up a CD or a record, get back home safely within a day, and when I was really supposed to be attending class at College of DuPage. So it was kind of nice. I mean, I was not furthering my educational process, but maybe I was in some strange way. I was helping my process of being able to bring you the Andy Dare Show, being able to bring you a huge library of musical knowledge, and continued to do it in 2015. And yeah, so it was a cool time. It was always hard to find a parking spot. It's even harder nowadays, it seems, but it was always a blast going down there with my friends and getting back home safely. And want to thank everybody at Reckless Records. Keep up the good work. You guys are an awesome thing, and it's great to see business bigger and better than ever. And I hope you guys have a bang-up Record Store Day. I will be at one of the locations later today. Thank you so much. I think that's about it for my spiel today. Check out Andy Gabbard, his band Buffalo Killers. They have an awesome sound. They're from Ohio. As I thought we should really pitch a rock and roll documentary about the whole Ohio rock and roll scene. There's such good stories. Had a lot of cool guests on my show. I do have a whole episode where it's just my interviews with Ohio people, best of the Buckeye State from earlier this year. And yeah, Andy Gabbard's a fine name to add to that list. Check out his new studio or debut solo album, Fluff. That's out now. And yeah, without further ado, my episode 141, Record Store Day 2015, with special guest, Andy Gabbard. Hey everybody, thank you so much for checking out the Andy Dare Show. Today it is episode 141, and I am joined by an Ohio native, Andy Gabbard. How you doing, man?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, man. You were one of a long list of people I've had from the Buckeye State. I've had people from Guided by Voices, Dave Hill, Doug Gillard, Tobin Sprout, a whole bunch of cool people. And people
Yeah,
don't
oh my
really know
God,
it,
they're
but,
really cool.
yeah, people don't know it, but it's actually a pretty thriving scene out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When you said that, that didn't surprise me, just because there's a lot of bands that do a lot of stuff from Cincinnati, Dayton area.
Yeah, it sure is. And, it's not too far away from the big cities, but, in the big cities, there's so much, competitiveness in Chicago, New York, and stuff like that. And out there, it seems like more of a homegrown environment where people kind of grew up together and they're more friendly with each other. Do you feel that out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's always, I guess, people who are competitive. But, yeah, I mean, any bands around here that I've played with or musicians, everyone's always super cool and nice, supportive.
Yeah, and then I had one guy tell me that all the musicians band together because the one major love is college sports there. So, like, if you're not into, NCAA or all that stuff, then you find your little niche scenes playing in little clubs, and that way it's another way of bonding, maybe. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Nice. But, yeah, you got your debut solo album, Fluff, out now. But, you spent the last 10 years with the Buffalo Killers. And how come the solo album now, and what was the reason for that?
Well, I've always recorded songs and stuff on my own and just either kept it to myself or shared it with my friends. And it's just, it just kind of became more of a real life thing than ever before. Patrick from Alive heard it, and I had the opportunity to make an album. So it's something I've always done. My close friends, hear stuff I record all the time. And just not, having Alive Records interested in doing it, I became a stay-at-home dad this last year. So
okay.
I kind of have more time to focus on it when I'm not doing other things, and so it's just kind of became more of a more thought put into it than ever before.
Nice, but like the way you're talking about it, it makes it sound like it's going to be some 4-track home demo thing, but this thing is fully fleshed out, totally. But is it a full band, or are you doing most of the stuff? What's the lineup here for the solo album?
I play everything on the album.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of it was kind of like for me, it was like going back to how I started writing songs, which was like recording on a 4-track by myself, and I hadn't done that in a long time because I hadn't had drums and stuff. But yeah, like I bought a drum set, and I just kind of was more motivated to make it something special.
Yeah, because it's all
like,
you. You can't rely on the other guys. It's all you put on the spot. So you better make it the best you can do, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different experience because I can record a song and complete it before anyone ever hears it. So it's like, my musician friends are guys I'm in bands with, so it's kind of cool to have something and show it to them when it's done and over with.
Sure, sounds good. Like, I love all those guys, like Todd Rundgren and stuff. It sounds like a full band, shoot like full strings and horns and stuff, and then he just played everything himself. Like Brian Wilson,
yeah.
All those guys. Even like a guy that you've stated as your influence, Jay Mascis. I mean, a lot of those Dinosaur Jr. albums, he's also playing the drums, and he can play the bass when he wants to. I got to see him acoustic last summer in Chicago at some festival, and he had a whole thing full of pedals, and so he pretty much looped himself and soloed over his own rhythm section. So it was like the hardest rocking acoustic show I have ever seen. So that's what. So I'll definitely be checking him out again. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. But so you're probably not taking this on the road, or are you planning on playing some of these tracks with the Buffalo Killers, or what's the deal?
Yeah, a little of both. I have a band that I play out with. Because I can't bring myself to play acoustic shows anymore. I really just don't have that gift to make everyone shut up and listen.
Sure, yeah.
So I have to force people to listen to me playing super loud. But yeah, I'm playing with my solo thing as much as I can, and then at the same time, we're still hitting it hard with Buffalo Killers and working on a new Buffalo Killers record.
Nice. Yeah, I was reading up to take it back for my listeners here. You guys started around '06, and your first album, I think, you recorded with John Curley of the Afghan Wigs, or at his studio,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was that based out of?
Oh, that's in Cincinnati.
Oh, it's all in Cincinnati. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What kind of guy is John? I mean, they're a huge influence on me. I love that they came back last year with a new album on Sub Pop. I think they're sounding better than ever. Were they an influence on you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. All their stuff is so great. And John is such a great bass player, and he actually played bass on a song or two on our first record.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really fun, It's kind of weird getting to, record with someone that successful and stuff, but he was just he's a master at recording, and we're really proud of those recordings, and they wouldn't sound the way they did if it wasn't there with him.
Sure. How did you guys get in touch with him? Was it a part of the going to shows in Cincinnati or playing shows, or?
We had a band before Buffalo Killers called the Shams, and I wasn't always in that band. I kind of joined later on, and they always recorded when they would record in Cincinnati. They would always record with him at Ultraslade, so that was just kind of like a relationship that started before my time.
Oh, I got
you. like as soon as me and my brother started playing together, and when we would record, we'd just go to Ultraslade with John and lay it down.
That's awesome. So I'm guessing pretty cheap by the hour?
Or?
Was it more of a project thing based, or?
I don't know how cheap it was, but yeah, I mean, he's super busy. I mean, that was where we used to always go.
That's awesome. I mean, there's other places. What is there? Cyclops in Dayton, Ohio. Is that where Guided by Voices record? There's places around. There's small little studios. You don't have to pay the big bucks, and you end up getting a better, more hands-on experience with the engineer and producer. So I think sometimes by saving money, you actually get a better product. I got to interview Steve Albini over here in Electrical Audio, and that guy gave us a bunch of insight on the whole game, pretty much for recording bands, everybody from PJ Harvey to, Jimmy Page, all sorts of stuff, the Stooges.
Yeah,
so
wow.
He's had quite a time. But then about this year, I read a article in the paper saying that he's having so much trouble making ends meet, and because people are all doing it at their home on a laptop, which I can always hear when you've recorded your stuff on a laptop. You probably can too. I mean, it's just something about it. It just feels digital and flimsy about it. But anyways, then he gets on that Foo Fighters documentary, the touring, that Sonic Highways HBO documentary series, and the phone rings off the hook for the months after that. So he'll be good for a long time, thanks to Dave Grohl. Say what you will about Dave Grohl, but just seems to spread goodwill everywhere he goes. So
yeah, that's awesome. Good for him.
That's definitely. Awesome. So, how about early influences on you guys? When did you start playing the guitar? And we're talking teenage years. What were you listening to when you were just starting out?
Well, I started playing guitar for real and when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I probably strictly listened to Nirvana and Green Day.
Nice. So you're probably about my age then. I mean, I'm 31. And you're probably about the same era, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you were you old enough where you got cassette tapes, or was that even too old for you?
Oh yeah, all cassette. I had a little boom box, and yeah, I mean, me and my brother and my sister, all together, we had a pretty wicked cassette collection.
That's awesome. Please tell me you still got them, or no?
I have a lot of them that that I got myself, but
Nice.
most of them are destroyed.
Yeah, see, when I started out getting like the music in like '95, and at that point, for my allowance, my dad would take me for a cassette tape, and I was the laughing stock of 5th grade because they're like, "What are you supposed to do with that? You got to rewind that thing." I mean, we all got CDs. Everybody's got CDs, and yeah. So nowadays, it's 20 years, so I've been doing every Tuesday. I put a tape Tuesday on social media. And, I'll post a picture of myself. I'll get 1 or 2 likes. I'll post a picture of, Green Day Dookie on cassette. 35 likes for some weird reason. But, yeah, it might be a nostalgia thing. But it's also just kids these days, they don't have something tangible they can hold in their hands besides their damn cell phones when they buy some music,
with cassettes and records, you're kind of forced to listen to the entire each side of the album.
You got something to read while you listen to it. You got something to put on a shelf. I mean, it feels so not satisfying to download something for $10 and then have it go on your phone. I mean, that's why pirating is so big, because you don't get that instant satisfaction of taking something out of plastic wrap and being the first one to crack it open and put it onto a player,
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome that you can get records now that have a download code in it and stuff.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, and then the whole new vinyl resurgence, too, is also pretty cool, why I'm not completely down on this era. I mean, I go to the record store downtown Chicago, Reckless Records, and it's packed on random days. So it's good to see the kids now buying the vinyl, buying used vinyl, stuff that they were tossing into dumpsters in the mid-'90s. And Record Store Day, this will be airing on Record Store Day. Happy Record Store Day to everybody. I heard Alive Records has this big, nice double record set coming out.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Buffalo Killers on that?
Yeah, I think we're like the second song on it.
Oh, that's awesome. I looked at the artwork. It looked beautiful, so I'm sure on vinyl it's got to be something definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, it's a really good collection of songs. It's like a bunch of unreleased stuff. We recorded a song by The Nerves to put on it.
Oh, nice.
A song that we really like. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
So is it new recordings, or is it kind of a compilation or a best of set of the record label, or?
I'm not sure how new everyone else's songs are, but I'm pretty sure like all the songs are stuff you can't get on anything else.
Oh, nice. And saw Black Keys recorded for Alive. When was that?
That was like early 2000s or something.
Sure.
I think their first record came out.
Are those guys from Ohio too? I'm fans of them, but I'm not totally obsessed with them.
Yeah, they're from Akron.
Oh, okay. Jeez,
They live in Nashville now, I think.
Yeah, they're down in Nashville, but they're Akron. Okay. Yeah, a lot of talent coming out of that state. I mean, people don't really, they only talked about Seattle. They talked about, California, Chicago, New York, but somebody's got to do a documentary on Ohio.
Yeah, someone should. It would be great.
There's definitely a lot of stuff, a lot of vibrant scenes there. I think it would be something that people would definitely be interested in watching. So what's, you said you might be playing out some of these songs, or basically still recording the next Buffalo Killers, right?
Yeah, I'm playing shows whenever I can with the solo band, and Buffalo Killers, we're still playing as much as we can, and we're in the early stages of making a new record, and I have an entire new record written, and
Nice.
I mean, yeah, just, we're just hitting it hard.
Is Robert Pollard's influences rubbing off on you, recording like a song every day or 2 songs every day or something?
I mean, I wish some of his influence came off on me because he's so good.
Over 2,000 songs registered with ASCAP and BMI or something like that? Yeah.
I mean, sometimes when I write music, I'll just hit a lick. Like, I'll just write a bunch of songs, in a short period of time.
Sure.
And with this album coming out and everything, it's just, I've just got it on the brain. I've been writing so many songs.
Nice. And, you said you do home recordings on a 4-track, or do you do them on computer?
Well, my 4-track is out of service right now, so usually when I record something at home, I really don't care what it sounds like. I kind of just, I try and get it down, and then when I can listen to it, I can pick out, what I want to change about it when I do it for real.
Nice.
But I kind of have this weird setup where I record my drums on this digital 8-track I've got.
Okay.
And then I just dump that onto our iPad.
Oh.
And then, because I've got kids, and so I can't be very loud all the time.
Sure, yeah.
So when I've been recording demos lately, I'll get the drums at some point when I can during the day, and then I'll just use all the fake amps and stuff on the iPad just to get the song out.
Throw the headphones on, and then you can record throughout the night without waking anybody up.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that sounds pretty awesome. I think that's an awesome note to end on. On Twitter at Andy Gabbard, do you have an official site, or Buffalo Killers have an official site?
Yeah, Buffalo Killers have a website. I can't bring myself to make a website for myself. So
just check out Buffalo Killers?
Yeah, look, I'm on Buffalo Killers. You can find, I have a page on all the social media sites. You can see when I'm playing and news and whatnot.
How about that for a last question? Do you think social media has helped or hurt the music business? It's kind of a loaded question, but
I mean, a little of both, because it helps because it's basically the only way, small timers like me can promote what they're doing. But it sucks because that's just the little thing that sucked everyone in. Like, if you're an artist, you're kind of forced. It's like, well, I gotta make a Facebook so I can, it's like, it's good and it's bad. Like, I wish it wasn't like that. I wish people had flyers on the wall and not
making
their phones
and stuff. Yeah. Which I'm actually doing. I've got my own fanzine out. It's called The Honeycomb, and the only way you can get it is my mailing list. So if you want to, send me your mailing address. But I think it's a little bit of both too. It's also free PR. It's kind of nice that way, and but at the same time, everybody at shows just looking at their phones, making videos, putting it up, and it's okay. But
everybody's seen it all, man. You could have the idea to be, a band, and then you can just make a Facebook page. And so I think it's harder in some ways to get people to give you a chance, just because there's just so much shit.
So much out
on
there.
all of it.
Wade through. Yeah. But it's a necessary evil, and there are good things about 2015. In 1995, you'd have to make a demo, send it by mail, and then wait 6 weeks to hear guy saying we don't want it, So it's tough that way, but it's cool that, everybody's kind of connected. It's kind of a little bit of the hippie dream Neil Young talked about. So I just want to thank you for taking the time out. The songs are awesome. I love the solo album. Keep on
Thanks
rocking
so
in the
much,
free
man.
world. And check him out. And the new album Fluff out now. And any last words, man?
Buy my record. Give it a chance.
Awesome.
Steal
Sounds
it. Burn
good.
it. Make your friend buy it and burn it.
All right. Sounds good. And on behalf of Andy Gabbard, this is Andy Darer signing out for the Andy Darer Show. This episode of the Andy Dare Show is brought to you in part by Uncle Bub's award-winning barbecue in Westmont, Illinois. Family-owned and operated since 1997, Uncle Bub's is the real deal barbecue. A family-friendly restaurant open 7 days a week. Also, it's a full-service catering company doing weddings, pig roasts, luau's, grill packages, you name it. They have a friendly, helpful staff that will make sure that your party goes off without a hitch. Call them at 630-493-9000. Visit them at 132 South Cass Avenue in Westmont, Illinois, and UncleBubs.com. Hey man, I know you like grilling. I know you like getting those dark grill marks on your burgers, fish, chicken. And I know you don't want to just dry your meat out like you're cooking with a hairdryer. Why not get the Man Grate and click through the AndyDareShow.com's banner so we can keep the lights on here at Honeycomb Hideout Studios in gorgeous Westmont, Illinois. The Man Grate. This episode of the Andy Dare Show is brought to you in part by Record Utopia, a music lover's dream with thousands of vinyl records, musical instruments, and sound gear. They buy, sell, and trade. Give them a call at 630-963-1957. Visit them in Westmont, Illinois at 309 West Ogden Avenue, on the web at recordutopia.com. It's always a good, relaxed atmosphere. Check them out, Record Utopia.
Hey there, Andy Dare Show fans. Dan here from Upper Michigan. I do the Superfan Dan podcast, and you can also find me at superfan_Dan on Twitter. I just did a series of interviews on a short film called Dead Metaphors. You can find a link to that on my Twitter page. My buddy Steve has a lead role in the film. You know how when you're from a small town and there's always that one person that leaves and does some real cool things? Well, that's Steve. He worked with Metallica, played in Jason Newsted's band Papa Wheelie, acted in a bunch of movies with Sean Penn. Anyway, I talked to him about all that and his latest film project, Dead Metaphors. I also talked with the director, producer, and a sound guy, even the cameraman. So check that out and enjoy the Andy Dare Show. Thanks, Andy. Talk to you later.
Be sure to follow Andy on Twitter, that's at Andy Dare, and like our show on Facebook, that's facebook.com/The Andy Dare Show. Videos at youtube.com/Andrew Martin Dare, and we're on iTunes, just search The Andy Dare Show, please leave a review. Thanks so much to our wonderful sponsors, Uncle Bub's award-winning barbecue, Record Utopia, The Man Grate, and Amazon.com. Theme song courtesy of Rich Banks Music. Thank you so much for checking out The Andy Dare Show. TheAndyDareShow.com.